ready for the weekend?
Let's go.
Just arrived at our first camp of the weekend. It is called Horseshoe Bend. How far away from Eildon?
20 k's, 25 k's out of Eildon,
Yeah.
on the way at Eildon Jamison Road.
Yeah, so we're just gonna set up our tent and start a fire. Brent got us a nice fire ready. Good work. Well, good morning guys. It was quite wet overnight. It's rained pretty much all night. The tent is quite wet, but we're pretty lucky. We got absolutely no water inside, which is good. So our tent passes on that factor. We are going to look for some snow today, but I don't think there is going to be a chance of us finding any snow. It's quite wet. So there was snow down to 1,300 to 1,400 meters, but I don't like our chances. And then tomorrow there's supposed to be snow down to 1,000 meters. So we're going to go up to Mount Terrible and up to Mount Matlock and have a look, and then make our way down to Woods Point, and probably stay in Woods Point for the night, and then head home tomorrow sometime. But that's the plan for today. I bought Brent a Wakako machine for Christmas last year. Mini presso machine, and it was supposed to be for both of us, but they're disgusting, to be honest. Like the espresso coffees are so bad. So I just have a cheat of a you know, the actual packet coffee, and Brent will still have the Nespresso, which he enjoys. So each to their own. The mini presso made this little espresso, and I'll just have my actual nice coffee. Thank you. Brent's doing a good deed, so he found a tackle box down at the river, and he picked it up and is trying to find the owner of the tackle box. And there was extra braid too, so we're picking that up.
Just left all that rubbish laying around, so I'll grab that so no animals or fish get caught up in it.
And we're going to post on...
I'll bang that on Facebook and see if anyone's lost the tackle box and tell them to clean up their shit when they're done with it.
Saturdays, hey? What are you airing down to?
We're taking down to about 25. It's still raining and it's a bit clayey around here, but shouldn't be too slippery.
at Mount Terrible. You can't see anything up here. It's very foggy. I think last time Brent was here, he had the best view. I'll add a photo of the view that Brent got to see last time, but this is what we get to see at the moment.
Usually the view from out here is unreal. Today, it is just super foggy.
And no snow.
No snow yet.
No.
This one here is Ryan's Spur Hut on Ryan's Spur track between Mount Terrible and Mount Matlock. Not flash, but still another cool little high country hut. Another logbook filled in.
Bit of lunch, some sweet chili wraps cooked up in the travel buddy. We're at Mount Matlock. It is bloody freezing, but there's no snow here as of yet. But we'll probably come back up maybe tomorrow and have a look, see if it does snow, but it is freezing.
It's like really light hail. It feels like it's starting to snow.
Yeah, like...
But there's no snow fall on the ground.
Yeah.
So there's a little rest area in Matlock, which is about 7 k's from Woods Point. Fire in there, nice little spot for lunch. Did you really go to Woods Point if you don't get a photo out the front of here? jump here.
On the old walking track, you reckon?
I'll back in.
The only way to do it, hey? Got the maxis under and let's give it a go.
In.
What are you doing?
I just had to give the maxis a bit of a wash. Had to use all four to get out over there. Fucking bellied out. Had to use the winch and the 4 max tracks to get out. It's only the 4th time I reckon I've had to use the winch in the patrol in like 5 years. Not enough ground clearing.
So I've just pulled into camp at Scott's Reserve after being stuck for a little bit, about half an hour, so that changed some of our plans for a little bit, but pulled up to camp and it's very wet. But we'll just set up and have a fire and just relax for the night, hey? Night here in the High Country. Going to check out Matlock again today. As it said, it was snow down to 1100 meters, so we'll go have a look there, and if not, then probably just go home. But it's been eventful anyway, even if we didn't see any snow. I think we were looking at going maybe to Nuge pub, but it's a bit far out of our way to get home, so it's definitely snowing at Matlock, but it's not snowing enough for it to hit the ground. But all of this is snow, so that's pretty cool. It's all snowing in the trees, and it definitely feels like it's snowing. It's freezing.
your trip to the Vic High Country, you do need to do some preparation, mostly to your vehicle. We go alone a fair bit. It's just us on this trip, and I would say as a minimum you want some quality tyres, at least all terrains, if not mud terrains, depending on where you're planning on going. I reckon you should have a winch fitted to the front of your vehicle, because there's a lot of steep tracks around.
Came in handy yesterday.
Yeah, we end up having to use ours, so it doesn't matter how good you think you are or whatever. What else? Obviously, you want some good navigation, so we run paper maps. We also use Gaia on the iPad, which is really good. It shows some other stuff that the HEMA paper maps don't. And I suggest that UHF at minimum as well. If you get in a bit of strife, you might be able to jump on the right channel and search for a bit of help. There's certain things that you definitely don't need when you go to the high country. You don't need massive tyres, you don't need lockers, you don't, depending on where you're going, of course, but for the bulk of it, you can get around on a pretty standard sort of vehicle. Some decent tyres, decent suspension. I'd suggest also doing a bit of planning and working out where you're going. A lot of the places are national parks, and of course you can't camp anywhere other than camp spots, and you got restrictions on fires and all that sort of thing. If you're thinking about bringing your, say, pets along, so dogs, we obviously take our dogs away a fair bit with this. I've never actually brought them over to the high country. There is places that they can stay, but I just find a lot of the places will have them signs that say they got their baiting foxes and they got the 1080 baits and stuff. So rather than risking that and leaving them chained up the whole time, I just usually leave them at home. Just take your time. It takes ages to get anywhere through here. You see people bloody hooking around. All the roads are quite skinny and tracks are quite tight. There's not much room to pass sometimes, and I find that people are going quicker than they should be. We just cruise around. You need plenty of time to get everywhere. Don't plan your trip to punch out bloody 80 k's through the bush in one day. It doesn't always work like that. So have a bit of a contingency plan of where you might stay if you don't make it to where you want to stay, or just be prepared for that. I like to also drive around with the headlights on all the time, just so that people can see you. If you're coming up a track, you can sort of see some headlights coming through trees or something like that before you get to it, and have a bit of a think about where it might be a good point to stop and pass somebody. So another good one to know is know your vehicle. Definitely get out and make sure you've done a bit of four-wheel driving in it before, or you know what the common problems with your car are, so that you can carry spares to suit. Like, we carry some belts, radiator hoses, a fuel filter, wheel bearing kits, because we tend to do a few wheel bearings in the patrol. But the other thing is I do all the work on this car myself, so I actually know how to work on everything. So if we're stuck out of the bush, I know what tools I need to change what I'm doing. Yeah, just a bit of vehicle knowledge, I think, goes a long way. It gives you a bit more confidence when you're out the bush and you're not worried about if something goes wrong. Of course, you can't plan for everything, so something can still go wrong. And lastly, I forgot to mention, just don't be a general. Leave your rubbish laying around. And you see these photos on Facebook and stuff of people that have done doughies in the campgrounds and torn it all up and that. Just don't do that shit, because you're going to ruin it for the rest of us that just like getting out here and actually enjoying the bush and not trashing it. It'll end up getting closed and we won't be able to bloody get out here and do what we love doing. So yeah, be responsible.
Well guys, that's the end of our high country trip. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment,